Nope.
Jordan Peele is back with his third feature-length film as a director. Obviously, he's been involved with other projects as well, but as a director, this is his third one, following Get Out in 2017, Us in 2019, and 3 years later, we now have Nope. He's the director of this movie, as well as the writer and the co-producer. I don't want to leave out Ian Cooper. He also produced this movie, because all of the promotion is saying written, directed, and produced by, like, come on guys, you're really gonna do Ian dirty like that? He produced this as well. Come on, give Ian some love. Nope follows OJ, played by Daniel Kaluuya, who is an owner of this horse ranch. His work pretty much just revolves around horses, selling horses, training horses, taking care of horses. His sister Emerald, played by Keke Palmer, also has part ownership of this ranch after the very abrupt and sudden death of their father 6 months prior to when the plot takes place. And after a series of these kind of unusual occurrences, the horses acting weird, running away, different things with the electricity, with the home that is on this ranch, it is found out that there's a UFO in the sky, and particularly in this cloud, that at certain times will just kind of hover over the ranch and suck up anything that looks at it. And now we have a movie, a bit more in the sci-fi mystery direction, not so much in horror. There are definitely horror elements here, but as opposed to Jordan Peele's previous two films that he directed, this one is much more, well, it's just not as horror inspired, I guess is the way that I would put it. And both those movies I'm quite a big fan of, especially Get Out, I thought was excellent. I've really been a fan of Jordan Peele's kind of, I guess you could say, transition into these more dramatic projects that he's taken on, both as a director as well as producing and writing. But I'm also a fan of his comedic stuff. The show Key and Peele, I'm a huge fan of from what I've seen. I liked the movie Keanu as well. I thought that was pretty funny. And I'm really loving what he did with this movie, with his direction, with the ambiguity of a lot of it as far as these flying saucer movies go, because at its core this is kind of just like a flying saucer movie, an alien UFO kind of movie. This one definitely has a lot to think about, to contemplate with what he's showing us, what he's not showing us. And it's much more than just there's a UFO in the sky and we want to film it and use it as evidence, because that is pretty much what our characters do in this movie. I know Peele even talked about this prior to the film's release in interviews about its themes of spectacle and, you know, us humans that are into spectacle and give into spectacle, and other ones that are, you know, want to stay away from it. You know, they want to avoid the fantastical element of it. I know I'm kind of maybe getting a little too insightful for some people watching this. They just want to know like what I'm gonna grade it, but I just really appreciated that this went outside the box. It didn't just stick to a basic alien UFO formula, and was a lot more than that. The cast is all really solid. You know, if I'm thinking about Peele's other directed films, there isn't really a standout performance, like a award-worthy performance like Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out, or especially Lupita Nyong'o in Us. There isn't really like that performance, at least for me, but they're all really good. You know, I mentioned Kaluuya and Palmer in this movie, Stephen Yeun as well, Brandon Pereira, Michael Wincott, who, all I have to say about that guy, you know, he's good in this movie, but he needs to do more voice acting roles. What an awesome, just growly, raspy voice he has. If you've seen the movie, you can't disagree with me on that. Come on, it's like undebatable. And going back to Stephen Yeun, his character was a bit more than I expected, and there was more about him, and his character was more developed than I thought he would be. He plays a character named Ricky, who in modern time owns this carnival, and that's just what he does with his life. But he's also a former child child actor. He was in this old sitcom in the 90s. And I will say, even though this subplot didn't have much to do with what was going on in real time, I thought it was done very effectively. There's a chimp that is involved in this sitcom, and there was just this incident that happened with it, which I don't want to say too much about, but really effective stuff that they do there. Yeah, I will say that I wasn't too into all of the writing for the characters. Most of it I was down with, but in particular, Brendan Pereira, he plays this salesman at an electronics store, and when he's sort of thrown into the mix and into the main thing that's happening in this movie, there's like this thing with his personal life that's brought up, and it's used for comedy, and like it's, I mean, a very small moment, very small chunk of the film that focuses on this, but like the entire time that was going on, I was like, come on, like, just be serious here. This is not something to, not time to bring that up, I think. There's also a cameo appearance from a character that comes in pretty much when all the shit is about to hit the fan. And I thought that this type of character, I'll just say it's like a news reporter kind of character, was incredibly over-exaggerated and in my mind unrealistic, even though a person like that in real life would probably be a douchebag and be just annoying as hell. This felt like a cartoon. It just didn't feel realistic. On the whole, I thought this film was excellent. I think as far as these kinds of movies go, these sci-fi alien type films, this is definitely one of the better ones I've seen in recent years. Like, from what I remember, definitely up there with how good Arrival was. And I'm pretty much feeling an A- on Nope. If I were to rank Jordan Peele's films, I would say Get Out is probably still my favorite, but I actually like this one a little bit more than Us, so I'll put this number 2, Us in number 3. I really want to know, though, how would you rank his directed films, and just how you feel about this movie in general, if you've seen it. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in my next video, whenever that will come out. Peace out.